What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your champ Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. These are my Week 17 daily fantasy football picks. Let's win. For those that listen to the podcast, Couchcast, and also follow the Couch League, the official Fantasy Couch Fantasy Football League, know that I am the champion of the league. Finally, it's my first time being the champion of my own league. Came close a few times, but it's the first time being a champ. Means a lot, especially in a competitive league. I want to thank you guys because honestly, you guys are the ones that push me. I want to make this channel better. I want to give the best advice. I'm 100% dedicated to doing that. So every year I step up my game. I do whatever I can, provide better content, do more research, and just basically become a better expert at fantasy football and a better fantasy football player. We can all improve, and we've seen that fantasy football has evolved. For example, look how popular DFS is, and it was basically non-existent 5-6 years ago. Okay, enough talk about that. These are my Week 17 daily fantasy football picks. Let's go. You already know how we like to do on the couch. We start off with the kicker and defense first. If we have some leftover salary, then we can spend it up on a kicker and defense. This gives us a better idea of our average remaining salary. I have 5 options to pick from kicker. We got Robert Aguaye, who's been horrible the first half of the season, but actually the second half has been extremely accurate. I really like him as a minimum price kicker. He is my favorite kicker at $4,500 for that price. Just want to reiterate that. Cairo Santos, 100 more, playing against the Chargers. Absolutely love this kicker. Only $4,600. Probably my favorite kicker in terms of value, in terms of upside, in safety and all that is going to be Stephen Gostkowski of the New England Patriots. He's only $4,700, playing in Miami. I really like this kicker. Hasn't had the best season compared to his previous season. He's always been the best kicker, but I like him this game. The Patriots will play hard, and we know their offense is quite potent. It's just that this year, LeGarrette Blount and Brady have either scored a touchdown or not, or turned over on downs or something. Like, there hasn't been that many opportunities to kick field goals. Gostkowski has had some accuracy issues earlier in the season, but I think he's over that. So I'm fairly confident in his accuracy. I'm fairly confident in the Patriots having a ton of red zone visits this week and just about every week. I mean, it's the Patriots we're talking about. For the same price, alternate option is Stephen Gostkowski. Stephen Hauschka, the Seahawks kicker. Similar first name. So same price, $4,700, going against the Niners. This has been a pretty disappointing kicker as well. He's not a top 10 kicker like he is some years. And one reason I like him is because the Niners run an up-tempo offense. The Seahawks should have a lead. Teams with leads tend to settle for field goals more often, right? If you're down 2 touchdowns, why would you kick a field goal in the third or fourth quarter, right? You probably want to just go for it because you're not going to win with a field goal. I mean, there's certain situations. I'm just saying in general. You know, if you have a 2 touchdown league, just to say the flip side of that situation, you definitely want to settle for a field goal. Like, it's awesome. Now you're up by 3 scores. Now the opposing team has to score 3 times, and basically you won the game if you can kick that clutch field goal and be up by 17 instead of just 14. So I like both those kickers. Not a big difference between the two, but I'd probably lean more towards Gostkowski if I was set on picking one of those two. Both prices $4,700. Matt Bryant, probably my favorite kicker in terms of who's going to score the most fantasy points, and he was last week as well. I liked him even more than Justin Tucker, Tucker was priced 100 more than Bryant. Now they've switched, so Bryant is $5,300 and Justin Tucker is $5,200. But to me, the price is way too expensive. I would not pick Matt Bryant in a cash game. I would avoid him in a lot of GPP lineups just to be contrarian. I mean, he's great though. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, if I had, let's say, 10 GPP lineups this week going for the big prize, I probably would have him in at least 1 or 2 of those lineups. He's really that good. By the way, that Saints and Falcons game is slated to be super high scoring. There could be like 8-9 touchdowns this game easily. So Vegas has this one quite high when it comes to the touchdown total. For defenses, tons of options. My punt of the week would have to be the Jets now that we know that EJ Manuel is starting. Don't know what's up with Shady McCoy. Not saying not being negative nor positive about him. I just truly don't know. I think he'll play. I think he'll be good, but who knows? Maybe they'll rest him. Maybe he'll only have 5 carries. That's why it's week 17. Like, you don't really know what's going on. But what I do know is EJ Manuel is starting, and I do believe he's worse than Tyrod Taylor. EJ Manuel is not a terrible quarterback, but he's a bad one, though. He's not a good one. So, like, he's bad, but not terrible. You know, he's pretty bad. So I like the Jets D at 4,100. That's just a punt, though. You know, not putting confidence in them. Some other options are the Bears, 4,300 going against the Vikings. Vikings don't put a lot of points. Raiders, 4,400. Like that contrarian pick. Ravens, 4,500 going against the Bengals. That's a really good one. Probably my favorite, though, one I have confidence in, and the one we're going to stick in, is the Cardinals at 4,700 going against the Rams. I love this defense. And the Cardinals' pass D has fallen off a cliff the past couple weeks. But going against the Rams can't score any points. I think they'll be able to bottle up Gurley just like every other team pretty much has this year. And once you do that, I mean, it's over. Hey, this defense gets a huge boost, by the way, if Kenny Britt cannot go. Now, he's questionable. Don't know much about that situation. But if he can't go, I mean, wow. Think about the Rams' pass offense. It's already horrible. And if you get rid of their best receiver, like Kenny Britt is hands down, it's like their only real receiver is Kenny Britt, wide receiver. It's Kenny Britt. Like, it's not even close. He has 1,000 yards. It's just insane. Like, if he's not playing, Cardinals could very well have a great defense and like totally cover when it comes to value. It's going to be such a great value pick. Only 4,700. Some other options real quick. We have the Bills at 4,800, Chiefs at 4,900. I don't really think it's really worth spending up more unless you're trying to be contrarian or pick different lineups, vary up your lineups. That's cool. But other than that, Chiefs at 4,900 is kind of where I'd stop when it comes to value. If you want to go above that, that's okay. But like I said, that's more for alternate lineups, more for just having a variety, changing your lineups, or if you're doing a lot of GPPs, that's when I do it. If we just, you can't spend it elsewhere, I get it. But other than that, Chiefs, 4,900, playing against the Chargers. I don't expect Melvin Gordon to play, even though he's more healthy this week. He can play. I don't know why they run him to the ground. I mean, you know, it's tough to judge, but Chargers are banged up. We know that they're not good. And we know the Chiefs defense has a lot of upside every week. They've been really good this whole year. For quarterbacks, I really like Matt Ryan and Drew Brees. Those are my two go-to guys. Matt Ryan, 8,700. Drew Brees, 8,200. Wouldn't blame you, though, if you went 8,800 with Aaron Rodgers. Talk about an offense and a quarterback that has been on fire as of late. That is Aaron Rodgers, hands down. This guy has just been insane. He just torched the Vikings, put up like 40 fantasy points against the Vikings, like they didn't even exist. I know about the issues with Terrence Newman. Terrence Newman, Xavier Rhodes, and I know all that. Okay, but still, he did put up 40 points against them. They used to be the number one defense in fantasy, the Vikings, that is. Some other options, though. We have Russell Wilson, a little bit of a high risk pick because they could run the ball. It would be smart. Russell Wilson could also beast, though. So Russell Wilson, 7,600 going against the Niners. Blake Bortles, 7,600 going against the Colts. Purely GPP high risk pick. Nothing else when it comes to picking Bortles at that price. Same price as Russell Wilson. I just wanted to talk about Carson Palmer. Not my favorite pick, obviously. But if you were to pick Carson Palmer, I think you want to stack him with David Johnson. Now, David Johnson has 4 receiving touchdowns. We know he's an excellent pass catcher. He's basically like a great wide receiver who's also plays running back. I mean, the guy has a ton of receptions, ton of receiving yards, and he takes it to the house often. My logic behind picking Carson Palmer, so if you were to do it, let's say you pick Carson Palmer in a GPP, I think you want to stack him with David Johnson. Because Carson Palmer, he rarely, he's probably not going to finish as a top 2, top 3 quarterback. So if he does, I see David Johnson catching a touchdown, right? I don't know. Let me know if you agree with that logic. Leave a comment below if you agree with that. I totally agree with it, and that's if you decide to pick Palmer. We have EJ Manuel as my quarterback punt of the week at 5,000. Now, if he can get over 10 fantasy points, I think he's gonna reach that value for you. He's gonna get value, return value for you. So 5,000 minimum price, not bad. Not a guy I trust with a lot of confidence, but I wanted to definitely point this out because on FanDuel recently and most of the year, the minimum price has basically been 6,000 for a quarterback that we know is going to start. So you know, when the salary pricing came out, we didn't know who was going to start for sure. So they left EJ Manuel at 5,000. That's still kind of surprising though. Like they usually make a quarterback like that like 6,100 or something like that. So he's 5,000, super cheap. That's almost half the price of a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, by the way. For running backs, surprise, surprise, David Johnson makes this list. I also have Devontae Freeman at 8,000. A ton of names here, but I like one a lot. You'll see. We have Thomas Rawls at 7,400. Ty Montgomery at 6,700. I like Tevin Coleman as a GPP pick. Mark Ingram at 6,100. I like the value here. He's 60 yards shy of getting 1,000 yards. I think he will get that 1,000-yard mark. I think the team wants him to, and I definitely believe he will. Like if I had to put, let's say I had to put a percentage chance on that, I'd say about 93% chance he'll get at least 1,000 rushing yards on the season. My favorite running back, here it is, Jacquizz Rodgers, 5,300, just about a must pick. So I'm going to have him in, let's say, a third of my GPP lineups and a ton of my cash lineups this week. Jacquizz Rodgers, okay, he's the starting running back. We know about the Doug Martin situation, 4-game suspension, checked into rehab, he's not playing. We know Charles Sims is on IR, okay? That leaves Jacquizz Rodgers being the main running back. And before this year, when I first saw Jacquizz Rodgers play was against the Panthers. They play the Panthers this week, by the way. I always thought of him more as like a scat back. I thought of him as being fast and not being a good 3-down back. But now it's not the case. Like he looks like a real legit running back. Yeah, he's looked better than Doug Martin this year in the small sample size that we saw. So Jacquizz Rodgers facing the Panthers again. Bucks are favored to win. They're going to play hard, even though they have close to a 0% chance of making the playoffs. It's basically 0% chance. There is a chance. It's like a 1 in a billion chance they'll get in. They're going to play hard, and Jacquizz Rodgers is going to be the main back there. I see Jacquizz Rodgers getting at least 20 carries. 20 carries, 5,300 for the price. You can't really beat that. I want to bring up 2 punts, though. You know, I like to do the expensive guys, medium price guys, the value guys, and cheap guys. Give you guys lots of options. That way you make the optimal lineup. Okay, Fitzgerald Toussaint, 4,500 going against the Browns, and Ronnie Hillman, 4,500 going against the Chiefs. Everybody's on injured reserve on the Chargers, and if Melvin Gordon is out, this is going to severely boost Ronnie Hillman's value and how many fantasy points he's going to get. We know that Derek Johnson, the Chiefs linebacker, star defensive player for the Chiefs, is out. And we know that the Chiefs, you want to run on the Chiefs. Passing against the Chiefs, they have too much upside with that. A lot of pick sixes with Eric Berry, Marcus Peters. So a lot of bad things can happen when you pass against them. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And, I mean, D'Angelo Williams, I want to throw that out there. He's also minimum price, $4,500, same as Toussaint. I just see Toussaint getting more work. I think D'Angelo Williams is much more valuable to preserve later on. And this is just a guess, right? So D'Angelo Williams could get 70% of the carries. He can get 60, 50, 40%. I don't know. I just think, you know, I just put myself in the coach's position. D'Angelo Williams just came off injury. He's such a great running back to have, backup running back to have to back up Le'Veon Bell. Like if Le'Veon Bell were to go down, you got D'Angelo Williams, who's we've seen ball out on several occasions. Just been a great running back. So that's my theory on the Steelers situation. By the way, if you haven't heard already, Steelers are definitely going to rest Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell, just to throw that out there. They are facing the Browns as well. For wide receivers, my favorite guy to have is Mike Evans, or not, my number one ranked wide receiver this week, the guy I project to have the most fantasy points, is Mike Evans, 8,400 facing the Panthers. I like Jordy Nelson, should be a high-scoring game. I like T.Y. Hilton, 7,800 going against the Jags. Wanted to quickly mention this Packers-Lions game. I think the Vegas line started out at 2.5, went to 3, now it's like 3.5. I don't agree with the Vegas line. I think the Packers are going to put up a ton of points, and I don't think the Lions are going to be able to keep up. Yeah, the Packers defense sucked last week, but I think they've been a little bit better as of late, and I think that the Lions are just not going to, they just don't have the firepower to catch up with the Packers. I think the Packers will win by at least 6 points, and I think they will score a ton of points. We have Doug Baldwin at 7,100. Davante Adams, I really like this pick. It's kind of like a lot of people will pick Jordy Nelson, and Jordy Nelson will ball. But just the off chance that, let's say, Jordy catches 1 touchdown and Davante catches 2, which actually did happen this year. We've seen that happen. Still, Jordy Nelson usually scores the most fantasy points. He's just a baller, just elite. Like, he's on another level this year, him and Rodgers. I like Davante Adams as a guy that a lot of people will fade. The price is not that sexy. People will pick Jordy Nelson more. So that's why I like Davante Adams. You bank on him catching a couple touchdowns, and you want to get lucky there. Michael Thomas at 6,700. Larry Fitzgerald at 6,600. Jarvis Landry at 6,300. Allen Robinson 6,100. Stephon Diggs at 6,000. Similar situation here. Same game last week, Packers when they faced the Vikings. Adam Thielen went off. A lot of people will gravitate towards him, and now Stephon Diggs is only 6,000. That's pretty interesting. Let's go over a couple GPPs and great value picks. Let's bring up Willie Snead, Golden Tate, and Marvin Jones. Okay, Willie Snead, GPP pick, nothing more. Crazy GPP contrarian pick, because a lot of people will pick Breeze, Cooks, and Michael Thomas, and nobody's going to pick Willie Snead, and that's a guy I like. Golden Tate, probably the best value wide receiver this week, a guy that you kind of have to have in cash games. Only 5,700, and what should be a shootout, and the lines I expect to be behind in this game. Marvin Jones, so he's only 100 less than Golden Tate. So it's the same situation I keep bringing up. Everyone will levitate towards Golden Tate, and Marvin Jones will be left out a lot. And when I say this, like, I know people will pick, like, I'm not the only guy who's going to pick Willie Snead. Like, it's not going to be less than 1% owned. Marvin Jones is not going to be less than 1% owned. Okay, I know. But I'm just saying, Marvin Jones compared to Golden Tate, though, Jordy Nelson compared to Davante Adams is going to be a huge difference. And just that little bit, will help separate you in GPP lineups. We have J.J. Nelson, only 5,300, and a ton of punts. Wow, I got to mention all these guys. Eli Rogers, 4,700. Philip Dorsett, 4,500. Kobe Hamilton, 4,500. Brian Quick, 4,500. Make sure you keep tabs on Kenny Britt. And Jermaine Kearse and Paul Richardson, also minimum price. I think Jermaine Kearse is more of a regular receiver, and Paul Richardson's more of the high upside, high risk, big play wide receiver. Okay, going towards the home stretch for tight ends. Travis Kelce is my favorite tight end this week at 6,800. But you might want to go with Delaney Walker. Could be a little bit better value, a little bit more contrarian at 6,200. I really like this pick. Everything's pointing towards this pick. It's really good, guys. So Mariota is out, so Walker could be less owned. And I think he's going to go to Walker. He's their best receiver. This guy is great, has a okay matchup against the Texans. Not good, not bad. The Texans could rest players. I think the Titans are going to go out there and try to win. Eric Ebron at 5,800. Charles Clay at 5,600. Jared Cook. Woo! I like this one. Lions give up a lot of points to the tight end position. He's only 4,800. No safety with a guy like Jared Cook. It's all upside, all risk. Keep tabs on Jordan Reed. I believe he's expected to play, and Vernon Davis is 4,800. I like Jack Doyle at 4,600. Probably the cheapest tight end I would even consider. I don't consider him a lot, but I want to give you guys more options. So Jack Doyle, 4,600, facing the Jaguars. I think Dante Moncrief might be out this game, so that would boost his value just a little bit. I think you can tell I'm not loving this pick because you got, what's the guy's name? Swoop. You got Dwayne Allen. Swoop is a tight end. Dorsett. I mean, it's just like, and Luck spreads the ball a lot. If you want a minimum price tight end, not confident in these guys at all, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Jesse James, minimum price 4,500, and also Gary Barnidge and Jermaine Gresham. Those are all my picks for DFS Week 17 NFL. Make sure you guys follow the link below. Go to FanDuel. Sign up if you haven't already. Use promo code FANTASYCOUCH. I'll see you guys on FanDuel. Make sure you watch the Fantasy Football Awards show if you haven't already. Like the video. Leave a comment below. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that bell icon and join the notification squad. I'll see you guys on the next video.